There is a lot to be thankful for this year, even though it probably doesn't often feel like it. But one thing we definitely can be thankful for is the fact that somebody's actions are finally having real world consequences, at least the kind of consequences that matter to him. That is right. Donald's poll numbers are abysmal. He is polling horribly in multiple surveys across a wide range of audiences. So I want to start with the numbers that hurt him the most, those of Fox State TV. Now, to be fair, Fox is an awful, awful media outlet. However, its polls are rock solid, which makes it even worse for Donald. Recently, Special Report host Brit Baier delivered negative marks for Donald from his own political base. Take a look.
The issue of affordability, the issue of how people feel about the economy popping up in our latest polls, personal financial situation now, excellent, good, 40%, only fair or poor, 60%. You can see that changing from July. Condition of the U.S. economy, also a perception totally upside down, 76 to 25, and that changing a bit. And then economic conditions for the nation and you personally, again, 25% positive, 76 negative for the nation, and then 60-40 personally.
Yikes, I think is the professional term for that such a poll. Additional data collected by Fox found that most voters believe that when it comes to the economy, the Trump regime, specifically Donald, is doing more harm than good. I think I need to repeat that. Donald is doing more harm to the United States economy than good. Implied in these data is the fact that Donald sucks at everything he does, except grifting. He's very good at grifting. The negative data have gotten so overwhelming that even Donald has to acknowledge their existence, which can't be easy for the little guy. Here's what he had to say about his approval ratings in a recent speech.
So my poll numbers just went down, but with smart people, they've gone way up. They've gone way up.
I'm sorry. Credit where credit is due. You think he's going to zig and he zags. I actually was impressed that he acknowledged that his poll numbers are going down. But then, of course, he has to rush in and save the day with a fascinating, unbelievable lie that his poll numbers are going up with smart people. Unfortunately, based on the fact that almost 78 million people voted for this idiot in 2024, the number of smart people in this country is vanishingly small. So Donald's bleak numbers are making headlines across corporate media landscape, which is as it should be. A recent Reuters Ipsos poll found that his approval rating is at 38%, which is still way too high. The piece cites affordability and his handling of the Epstein files as the primary reasons for dissatisfaction among voters. Reuters also found that 26% of people approve of Donald's handling of, quote, everyday expenses, unquote. 26% of people approve. That's a devastatingly low number, especially if you consider the fact that that suggests that even many in his base aren't sticking with him anymore. He has indeed broken his two biggest campaign promises. One, to release the Epstein files free and unfettered, and two, to rescue the American economy. Bring down inflation, bring down prices, create more jobs, bring manufacturing back to the United States of America. None of that has happened. In fact, quite the opposite. CNN chief data analyst Harry Enton showed figures further tying inflation to Donald's tariff policies. Take a look.
I mean, just your costs are up versus a year ago. Groceries, 85%. Utilities, 78%. Healthcare, 67%. Housing, 66%. Gasoline, 54%. The bottom line is this: Americans feel like prices are rising in each and every single part of their lives. Take a look here. Tariffs raising prices right now. I'm going to come over Kate's side of the screen. 71%, 84% of Democrats, 74% of independents, and even a majority of Republicans. When you can get a majority of Republicans to agree with majority of Democrats, you know that the pain is being felt by the American public right now. The Treasury Secretary can try and tell the people something, but they can feel in their pocketbooks. They simply put, don't buy what he and this administration is selling them when it comes to tariffs. More responsible for the current economy. 62% of Americans say it's Donald Trump. Just 32% say it's Joe Biden.
Congratulations, Donald. It is quite an accomplishment to be underwater with your own party. That's like almost unheard of. Also, I just want to reframe something that Endon said there. It's not that Americans feel that things are more expensive. Things objectively are more expensive. That is the reality. What they don't believe or feel is that Donald or others in the regime are telling them the truth about their own lived experiences. Enton also shared evidence that Donald has lost his once considerable support from independent voters. Watch this clip.
Why don't we take a look at independents? Trump's net approval rating with independents. Back in January, he was close to even. He was at -4 points. Not great, but not terrible. Look at this number. 43 points underwater with independents in the most recent average of these polls. When you have 43 points underwater with independents, you know you're doing terribly. You can't win with this. If this holds for next year's midterm election, wave adios amigos, goodbye, see you later to that House Republican majority and that Senate Republican majority very much in danger as well. When you take a look at the Pew Research validated voter survey going back to last year, he was basically even among independents with Kamala Harris. Now he is 43 points underwater.
Just because, as you know, I like to help Donald out whenever I can. And as we know, he's very bad at arithmetic. I just want to clarify to him that 43% is a much, 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 much bigger number than 4%. Okay, cool. In even worse news, wow, the hits just keep on coming. I love it. An NPR PBS News Marist poll found that when it comes to the midterms, Democrats hold their largest advantage since 2017. When respondents were asked who they'd vote for in 2026, the Democrats had a 14-point lead over Republicans. Additionally, 6 out of 10 people blamed the Republicans and Donald for the 43-day government shutdown, which is because the Republicans and Donald were responsible for it. But before we go on, Donald is failing and he is falling in the polls. So this is an important time for us to keep the pressure on. Please like and share this video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Mary Trump Media YouTube channel. So what is next for the party that Donald has led closer and closer to its oblivion? I mean, the unpopularity and the disapproval are growing by the day. According to Axios, quote, Donald's officials know they need to shift this perception dramatically and quickly. Yet, big, lavish black tie dinners with the Saudis or gold-plated White House renovations make it harder to convince voters Donald is on the case, unquote. Well, of course, Donald is not on the case. He may be unable anymore to deny the fact that he's sinking in the polls, but he's going to justify it somehow. More smart people approve of him. Whatever. He will bend over backwards to lie to himself, literally to gaslight himself into thinking that everything is just fine because he's incapable of changing. He's incapable of changing himself. He's incapable of changing course. And he's incapable of giving up things that he wants for himself, which include lavish dinner parties with Mohammed bin Salman and a gold-plated ballroom. So nothing is going to change the way Americans increasingly perceive the corruption and failures of the Trump regime, no matter how much the doomed Republican Party might wish otherwise. Please take a second and like and share this video. It'd be awesome if you could subscribe to the channel. If you're listening to us in podcast form, please follow us and give the show a 5-star rating because it really does help other people find our content. Thanks.